Hello and welcome to our 30-day social media marketing challenge, where we are challenging you to go to see, interact, and use social media for kingdom purposes. And we are additionally challenging you to go live on at least one of your platforms every single day for the 30 days and create at least 3 written posts a week. And so let me know how you are doing in the challenge. We had a great conversation in our backstage VIP. Yes, some are know that they have fallen behind, but they have made a commitment to actually fulfill on going live for 30 days. So I am just proud of my ladies. Yes. And we are also encouraging you not to utilize ChatGPT, but to instead to lean into the Lord, to seek Him, and to look around you for inspiration on what to post. In fact, Monica, one of the lovely ladies that is on here with us on our VIP, she was struggling in terms of consistency or like when to show up live. And so she even did a video on her challenge that she was being challenged in that area. So I just love it. That is what you want to do. Draw from what is you're going through, the challenges, the ups, the downs that you are experiencing as you content, because what you're going through, guess what? There's at least one other person, maybe 10, maybe 100, maybe 1,000 other people that are experiencing the very same thing. Maybe not necessarily in the same way that you're experiencing, but they're experiencing the same thing. So I want to encourage you to do that. And so that was lovely to witness. All right, so, ooh, are you ready for my question for you today? Are you ready? Put ready in the chat if you are ready for my question for today. I think it's a firecracker. All right, maybe what's that? Yes, Rhonda, I see that already. All right, maybe it might be just what's the opposite of firecracker? I never know. All right, okay, at least I have someone who's ready. Okay, all right. So I would for all those others who are on here that are hiding and just staying quiet, and they're like, I don't know, Kelia. Don't give me that question. Here it is, nevertheless. So the question for today is, what is your 3-step plan for helping people avoid falling into the pit of hell? And that is whatever that represents to them in life, to climbing the staircase to heaven, going to that glorious level in their life. Isn't that a beautiful question? See, that's not painful, isn't it? What is your 3-step plan for help falling in to the pit of hell? And that is, again, whatever represents that for life, for people for life. That could be into a bad relationship, another bad relationship. That could be more financial struggles. That could be more debt, increasing the debt. That could be lack of, clients in their business. It could be a whole lot of things. What is it? The pit that they may be at risk of falling into, and what is the staircase of heaven looks like for you in that process. So we're going to talk about that today. But to draw some inspiration from the Word of God, we are going to be reading Matthew 4, verses 8 to 10. And you are going to see, by grace of God, the importance of you having at least 3-step plan. It could be 3 to 6 steps or processes or elements, but we'll break that down. So this is the second part of the 4 P's in digital marketers format or formula for creating the perfect offer. So yesterday we talked about the prompts. Today we're going to talk about the plan. Okay, and then tomorrow we're going to talk about the package. And then the next day after, we're going to talk about the proof and urgency. Okay, All right, so if you're following along, if you have your Bibles handy, open to the book of Matthew, chapter 4, verses 8 to 11. So we're going to finish off with the final temptation that the enemy tried to get Jesus to follow through with. And then I'm going to give you a bullseye view of what all of that meant in essence, in connection to what we are talking about. Let's put it that way. Not in essence to everything, because there's so much richness in that. But in essence to the conversation we are having I'm going to give you a bullseye view context of what the enemy was trying to do in that season. All right, so Matthew 4, chapter. The word of God reads this. Again, the devil took him on an exceedingly high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their glory. Do that. There we go. And he said to him, all these things I will give to you if you will fall down and worship me. Then Jesus said to him, away with you, Satan, for it is written, you shall worship the Lord your God, and him. Left him, and behold, angels came and ministered to him. Now we can dive into all of that in so much rich detail, but I want to put it all together. So this is the third temptation that Satan threw at Jesus. The enemy was trying to do. Oh, okay. Give me a thumbs up if you can still hear me. Yes, yes. Okay, I think I'm back. All right. Okay. Yes. All right. So the enemy, awesome. The enemy had a plan. Okay, of seeking to derail Jesus from his path. Okay. And it was a three. Also be traced back as far back as in Genesis. The enemy is not things. He goes back to the same old tricks over and over and over again. He just likes to. So let's break those down so you can see what I'm talking about. And then we're going to tie this together with what we are. Okay, if you look at what how scholars summarize or categorize these different temptations, you will see the similarities. Some of them have their own little twist, but they all the root of them is these three key things, okay? So the first one was the lust of the flesh, that was asking Jesus to turn stone to bread, okay? And in the garden, what did he say to Eve? He was telling her that the apple, right, the forbidden fruit, let's put it that way, the forbidden fruit, let me not put an apple on it, but forbidden fruit is good for what? Food. Again, feeding what? A physical need, your fleshly pleasure, okay? That's putting your physical needs above all, including above God, and that is about feeding your flesh, what your flesh wants. The hungers of the flesh and not the hunger of the spirit. So very important. So that was the first temptation. The second one was pride of life. That was to get God to save Jesus. Get him to do your will, and not in a God in an earnestly way, like a humble way that God, I need you kind of way. No, in a God, you got to show up and prove yourself kind of way, or kind of boastful, like prideful way. Okay. And what was the temptation he gave to Eve? The desire to make her think that she could be wise if she ate that fruit, that she could be just like God. And guess what? She already was. She already was. She was made in his likeness and his image. So she didn't need a fruit to turn her or transform her into God. But anyways, the enemy did what he did and he got away with it then, but not now. So the idea there is to make you show off or make you try to seek to prove God, make God prove himself to you in a way. It's from ego and from pride. It's about feeding your ego and your pride. So that was the second test, the second temptation. The third one is the lust of the eyes. The lust of the eyes. Here, Satan is asking him to, hey, I'll give you all these things. Everything you see, how delightful these things look, how beautiful they are, right? I'll give you all of these things, but you got to do one thing. You got to worship me first. Yeah, right. Like, I already own these things, but you know what? Let me throw this in your face. No, I'm not going to worship you. I'm only supposed to worship my Father, the Father in heaven, not you. Nope, wrong. And what did he tempt? These are pleasing to the eyes. Like, what's wrong with this fruit? It looks good. It's good for food. And if you eat it, it'll make you wise. So those were the three temptations, okay? And it's, in terms of the lust of the eyes, it's all about, part of it is about seeking a shortcut to success. Is coveting ambition for ambition's sake, not for the kingdom's sake, okay? It's not about the fact that you can't use things to cut time, is that you want a fast-paced way to cheat the process that you have to go through to get the success, okay? And mostly the shortcut ways are not kingdom godly ways. It is let's underhanded ways, okay? So those are the three things. And that was his 3-step plan to draw Jesus out from heaven into the pit of hell where he was, all right? And guess what? Thank the Lord, his plan did not work. Jesus reversed the failure of Adam and Eve, and he redeemed everything back. But that is what your offer now comes into play. And I know for us, be like, Lydia, but again, I don't really know like what the process, how I'm going to put this together. That reminds me of one of my mentors and Coach Pedro. He's like, the people were coming at me and asking him, like, what's the process? What's the steps? What's the thing? And he's like, I don't have a step. I don't have process. Until he sat with the Lord, and the Lord highlighted 6 key things to him that the Lord was helping, working him through, that got him to where he was in his journey. Okay. And so some of us may say, but Kedia, it's not this step that you take one step and then a second step, and it's not something that builds upon each other. I don't even know how to explain it. So it could be steps, it could be a process, it could be a framework, but it's a way that you think of it of guidelines to help you to lead people in the direction that is going to be beneficial to them. Let's put it that way, okay? You want to help to lead people in the way that they should go. Here, the enemy wanted to lead Jesus in the way that the enemy wanted him to go, which was the pit of hell, but we want to take people to the staircase of heaven. Amen? Okay? But what often gets in our way? What often gets in our way? Anyone can tell me what gets in our way of thinking that we can lead people to that staircase of heaven instead of either leaving them to fall to the wayside and go to their own way, or think that we're going to lead them to the pit of hell. Anyone can give me a clue as what they think is the biggest obstacle, or one of the obstacles that we face in thinking that we can put together a plan that someone's going to go and get results from. Any takers?
Our own insecurities.
Monica, yes. Another one, it is thinking that we are going to be disappointed and that we may be a disappointment to that person. So this often, what this looks like is that insecurity that we're feeling, that we can't, that we don't, what we know is not going to help the person that we are seeking to help. And you want to hear a little secret? You want to hear something that I hope that will set you free, that should set you free?
What? What?
You can't save everyone. In fact, you're not the one who's saving people. God is. If you're working in partnership with him, he's the one who's going to be saving them. But you want to hear something cray too? Jesus didn't save everyone. Look at this. Jesus himself was told no from when he asked one of the rich rulers to come and follow him. The man was like, you want me to do what? Give up all of this and come and follow you? Okay, this is the Kitty Holder version. Don't quote me. This is the Kitty. No. And so he backed away. But on top of that, one of his own disciples who walked with him for what, 3+ years, whatever that he was here on earth, turned around and betrayed him. How pointy could that be? How much can you feel like a disappointment when you have someone that close to you turn around and literally stabbed you in the back? So just like how Jesus didn't escape it, we're not going to escape it. I would so love it. I know you would too, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. There's still going to be a few. And the thing is, it's going to be a small few people that are based on where they're coming from, what is going on in their own world. They may not engage in the process enough to get the result that is attainable for them as a result of doing the work, or some of them are gonna there are they're going to be have such big walls in front of them, or so that they're not able to overcome them to the point where they can actually get the result. So there are going to be people that are fortunately will feel that they were disappointed in the process because there was some disconnect somewhere along the line between you and them, or between them and the process that they had to go through. Okay. Sometimes it is how the delivery format of things that does not resonate with the person. Okay, so it's really important that we as individuals, one, know how we are trained to do a thing, and to do our best to highlight and notice when what we're doing does not resonate with somebody. Does that make sense? Or is not compatible for that person. That's why you want to do your due diligence, especially with your copy beforehand, to let people understand and see who this is going to be a best fit for as much as possible, to kind of reduce that as much as possible. Is that clear? Clear? Yes, or question mark? Okay, I see that thumbs up. So your copy will help with that, to kind of shortcut that process, or to reduce the size of any disappointment that happens there. But there's going to be disappointment at some point in time. Jesus felt it. He recognized it. Even Satan. Satan got disappointed. Jesus did not follow through with what he wanted. And many people don't all follow Satan's temptations. They rebuke him and cast him away, and cast him just like Jesus did, okay? So even Satan gets disappointed, all right? So let me go into more detail about the plan of what the plan as part of your overall offer, okay? So we're creating your offer. The first part of that is the promise, the transformation, the breakthrough that you're helping people to receive. The second part is the plan, is how you're going to actually deliver on that result, how you're going to deliver those results for that person, or help them, show them the path to success through what you do, okay? That helps, and then being able to communicate that in a way that helps a person visualize it and visualize the possibility of them actually achieving it. Okay, so it's going to be important for you to understand what your process is, whether it's a step-by-step plan, a process, a framework, whatever the case may be, and being able to communicate that well in a way that they can visualize it, but also accurately showing them how they can attain those results. So And the desired result could be restoration in their marriage. It could be getting out of debt. It could be getting financially free. It could be building a legacy that they can leave behind for their children. It could be sales for their business. It could be restoring lack of intimacy in their relationship. It could be a whole bunch of different things. That's the desired result. And so your process that you're taking people through should be able to help them to achieve the promise that you give them. All right. So it needs to be simple. It needs to be clear, the outline. It usually is typically 3 to 6 logical or easy to follow phases, steps, or components, elements, frameworks, however you want to frame it. It may not necessarily be something that they take one step here and step here and a step here, but it could be like, we do this one, focus on this area first, then we can focus on this and think and bring it all together kind of thing. All right. The promises that we may be promising someone, helping someone to see is the internal work that they are going to achieve, but how do you paint that to show that it's going to manifest physically? Here's the same thing. You want to help them to visualize the manifestation of that promise in their life. Differently as a result. How are their mindset is going to be differently. The thought processing or any of those things is that going to look differently from where they are right now. Okay. You want to try to avoid any overcomplicating things. I love to use the acronym KISS because I always have to remind myself to KISS. Right? Keep it super simple. Keep it super simple. Okay. It is again that lens on making it clear for people, giving people clarity, simplicity, and it helps to build your confidence in knowing, okay, this is a simple 3-step process or step-by-step plan that we can follow, and it reduces confusion or overwhelm. Okay, too many. So let's say maybe you have 12 things in your whole process, like a deer in headlights. It could be way too much, depending on how much time you want to collapse that to help someone. Maybe if you're thinking, oh, we can accomplish all these 12 things in like 3 months. Yeah, maybe not. Okay. Especially since our mind works very differently. So be very clear on the process and the timeline of that process as well. That will also help with making it realistic. Okay, keeping it realistic. And it must pass what is known 4-minute mile. People didn't think that they can run a mile in 4 minutes until it was broken. And then multiple people after that broke that record. So you want to let people be able to see, okay, there's a level of tension. Promise we're trying to make happen is a stretch, but it's not unattainable completely. Okay, it's a stretch. You should want to go after it, but it should not stress you. Results are the steps, are milestones. That's the word I'm looking for, milestones in the process. And that will even help you if you can see or determine what people can expect along the path as well. That will help to give people more hope, okay, and help build their faith in the process. So is all that clear? Any questions there about any of that? About what your understanding of what the plan is and how to put together your plan or think about your plan? Any questions there? Well, Papa, you're doing a good job. No questions. Woo! Okay. All right. Okay, but if there's anyone who's watching this live or on the replay on our social media channel, if you have questions, of course, make sure to drop them in the chat as well. I am not, my eyes are not on those right now. They're only in the Zoom call right now, but I will come back and answer any questions. But this is the second part of the process that you want to work on to build your perfect offer. Okay, that's digital marketers terms for it, but you want to use this to build your offer. Okay, so today your assignment is to work on the plan. So what is the 3 key big steps that someone needs to take, and then break it down. So you can have one step here, one step here, one step, and then under that one step, what is some smaller bite-sizable pieces that they can follow through on that will help them to reach that first step. That would even make it super simpler for you, okay? But you will show them the 3-step process and overall what they will expect to achieve by taking those 3 key components or steps or frameworks in your process, okay? And again, you want to understand this clearly so that you can then be able to communicate this in a way that is going to help people to see themselves achieving the end goal, okay? All right, and of course, and you want to continue to refine one area of your content or your messaging as you go along from today onward. You're going to continue to work on refining your content and your messaging. All right, so that is it for day number 18. Yes, we are moving along. This was a blessing to you. If you have not yet and you want to officially sign up for the challenge, do so you can get our playbook and you can get emails sent to you. Doing this all together, guess what? Jump on a Zoom and you will get to be able to. The link there is in the comments as well. You can join us on in our VIP session. It's $97 and you will get all the replays from all the other sessions, and I will continue to help you to build up all the process, even though we're more than halfway through. I probably might close this off, the invitation to that soon, but you can still jump on board for now, and we will continue to help you work through all the processes that we have already covered so far. All right, so thank you for tuning in. We will see you again tomorrow for 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. So until then, take care and have a blessed day.